Hey everyone, welcome back to Paper Therapy with Amy. I'm here with another layered looking layout. I think you're really going to enjoy watching this come together. I wanted to do these diagonal lines across the top, and you're going to watch me really struggle with getting these correct. One of my papers, the orientation didn't matter, but the other one, I used the clouds from the Take to the Skies paper packet, and I could not get those clouds orientated the right way for the life of me. I'm sure you've seen this layout before, and I'm sure there's better teachers than me to show you how to do this because I had a real struggle. So I'm going to leave it in so you see the struggle and how I fixed it in the end. I kind of cheated and pretended it was under there, but really it wasn't. But man, it was awful. Like I kept doing it wrong and my clouds were upside down and it just did not work. And I kept like switching them around and thinking like, how is this supposed to go? And I finally figured it out here. I realized, oh, I cut it backwards. So that means next time I have to angle it the other way. And you know what I did? I did the same thing again. So anyways, I'll let you laugh and watch that. The layering part I can teach you about. That is something I know something about, but doing these lines was a mind boggle for me. So when we flew down to the Virgin Islands, because we live in Canada, we had to take a lot of different planes to get there. And so we headed down there I think we went different on the way there than we did on the way back. But on the way back, we had to go to Atlanta and then to Orlando and then home. Crazy. But that's just how the flights worked. And it was cheapest that way. So we decided to do it that way. And when we were on our flight from Atlanta to Orlando, the pilot comes on the loudspeaker and he says, or the intercom, whatever you call it, he says, we are actually going to be able to most likely be able to see the SpaceX rocket take off out of I forget what he said, the left side, right side, I can't remember. I think right side of the plane. And lo and behold, we are sitting on the right side of the plane. I'm in the middle, my husband's in the aisle, but there's a lady beside us. And he said, if you set a timer on your phone for 20 minutes, it should be about 20 minutes. So right away, me and the lady beside me set a timer for 20 minutes. And there you see it. That is the rocket taking off on that blue sky picture there. And she took a whole video of it and she airdropped it to me because she had an iPhone as well. So I have a video and I was taking pictures and look at me still struggling with these clouds. Like I did it again. I'm just like so frustrated with myself. I'm like, how many times am I going to do this wrong? So anyway, way back when, you may have seen a video where I said I had a really good story about one of my flights home from Virgin Islands. Well, that's my good story. We got to see a rocket and it was pretty cool. It's pretty far away, of course, but yeah, the pilot came back on. He's like, you can see it, it's right there. And you could tell by his voice, he was very excited. So here's where I'm going to finagle this to make it work. I'm going to end up because I'm just going to have that little triangle showing, I'm going to have like a diamond in the middle showing. I decided to just cheat and cut this piece of paper so it worked because I was like, okay, I'm not wasting any more paper on this. My husband has been quite a frequent flyer, so for that reason, we have some kind of frequent flyer status, and we can go in these airport lounges, and I had never really scrapbooked that before, even though it's a pretty cool perk. So I am also scrapbooking that on the right-hand side of the page here. I'm going to bring in some rub-ons that I have for title and subtitle, and I think you'll enjoy watching how I layer these up. So finally, I'm going to get these put together, and I do end up using a longer piece. So it's kind of like an offset diamond there, and this is how I decide to go with it. It is different, I think, than a lot of people do these type of layouts, but this is what I decided to go with. And I did ink up those edges as well. So now I have this sticker. The airplane paper is from at the very end of Close to My Heart, we had a travel pack. I can't even actually remember what it's called, but that's where that airplane paper is from. And that is also where I'm getting these strips. The stickers are from the sticker sheet. And I'm just cutting them down and only using part of them at the top to kind of finish off my diamonds or triangles or whatever you want to call them. This is the closest blue I had in my stash to that cloud paper, and it has a bit of a chevron stripe on it, but it's kind of tone on tone because it's just like UV coated or glossy. So I'm going to use this blue paper. I'm tearing it here and I'm going to use it as a shelf to set my photos on. And then I'm going to add a few more layers just to bulk up underneath, because now we're really top heavy with those embellishment angles across the top. So now I need to add some weight to the bottom of the page so that it doesn't look so top heavy. Essentially, this is all the pattern paper and cardstock that I use. I may use one other small piece that's the same as that piece in between the picture of my husband and I, with kind of a beige with a polka dot on it. And the rest is just layering items, mostly from 49 and Market. I do actually add a little bit more of this airplane paper. I'm not sure how I had extra airplane paper cut to the triangle shape. I must have cut that one wrong too, although I didn't think it had an orientation, but apparently it did. Or I had the angle wrong, because it makes a difference, because this is not a right angled triangle, like it's not even, so it does make a difference which way the angles go. But anyways, I figured instead of letting those pieces go to waste, I could rip them and add them as a little bit more weight underneath that ripped edge blue cardstock there. I am planning to put those blue cardstock pieces right up to the edge, even though the pictures will be more centered. So for that reason, I want it to line up a little bit in the middle, even though I use D-ring albums. It just looks a bit nicer if it lines up. It's not totally random. So I did the same with this airplane paper. I wanted to rip it in such a way that the rip kind of continues from one page to the other. So you will see me finagling a little bit trying to make that happen here. But the good thing about tearing like this is it's okay if the tear tucks up underneath and it goes away and then comes back, because they are torn edges. In some ways, when I do layered layouts like this, I will kind of work from the top to the bottom. Not totally, because I'll add smaller pieces in later, but I like to add in the bigger pieces of cardstock or layering pieces first and kind of glue them to the back of my pictures. And then I can move that around as a unit. And then when I get to the stage that I think, okay, now I only want little small pieces, then I will glue them down and add the last bits. The other reason that I glue these together is because I was going to use rub-ons on this page. And if you use rub-ons, you kind of need things to be loose so that you can tuck them up underneath. I am going to use the travel rub-on for kind of a subtitle or a title. And then I'm going to use another little tag that says snapshots for another title. For now, I'm just going to cut it out, and then I'm going to try layering some more pieces in behind that I have. All of this is mostly 49 and Market, and maybe a few journaling squares that are from my Close to My Heart stash that were Picture My Life cards. I end up preferring the traveling on the other side of the page because it's by us and we're kind of in the middle of traveling in those pictures. So I do end up shifting it over there once I've got a few of these layers put in place. And in order to get it to fit on that ripped paper, I do have to kind of reposition the ripped paper underneath there. Rub-ons are such a fun way to get kind of a mixed media look, but you don't have to get messy. So these ones work really well, really easily. You just peel off that backing and set it down. And I don't even think I had a proper rubbing tool. I probably used the handle of my scissors. This is a good time to talk to you about my YouTube channel and how you can help me out. If you'd like to support me, by more than just hitting that thumbs up button, which please do that if you haven't done that yet. You can head down to the description box below, and there you will find my first and last name. And if you live in Canada, you can make a purchase from Stampin Up, and if you put my name in as your demonstrator, then I will receive some benefits from that. I have recently had a few orders that way, and I just felt so honored that those people liked my channel enough to support me. So thank you so much if you've made an order. I really do appreciate it. You really help me to be able to get more supplies so that I am able to make more videos. Another way you can support me that is totally free is to hit that subscribe button. That really helps me out with the YouTube algorithms. It makes my video pop up more for more people and I get more views that way. And when I get more views, that's great for my channel. If you are one of my peeps that always has already subscribed, always hits that thumbs up button and often makes comments, thank you so much. I read all those comments. I feel so blessed by you. I feel like more confident all the time in what I'm doing here when you guys just build me up. So thanks a lot. I really appreciate it. I probably come across as a super confident person. I've been told that my whole life, but I am actually quite shy sometimes and worried that people won't like what I'm doing or won't be interested. So this has been a really good boost for me, and my love language is words of affirmation. So all those comments just make me glow. And you can probably understand that in a house full of men, I don't get a lot of words of affirmation. The silence and the chewing and the clicking of cutlery against the plate has to be my thanks for the meals that I make around here. Okay, that wasn't completely fair. Just last night, my son said, "That was really good, Mom." So that's not totally true, but the boys are not big on praising you up and down. That's just how they are made. And you know, arranging things like I'm doing right now on this page is kind of my jam. Like I've told you before, I volunteer at a thrift store that raises money for my kids' Christian school. And you know, my favorite thing is to arrange window displays or arrange shelves to make them look pretty. And other people tell me, "Oh, you have such a gift for that." And I don't really think it's a gift. I'm having fun, but I guess gifts come in all shapes and forms. This was becoming so monochromatic that I felt like it needed a little something. And funny, what I'm putting in now is those stripy frames. They're still monochromatic, but they give a little pop of eye-catching dark to light contrast. I do kind of bring in a little bit of more of that polka dot. I only have it in that one spot under that journaling square, so I do end up bringing a little bit more in to just tuck up underneath some of my layers here. I rounded my edges with just a scissors, just a little bit here, because all of these layering pieces from 49 Market seem to have kind of rounded edges. And this paper here is from a mix-in from Close to My Heart, so I just dug it out of my stash. But any kind of, like this layout, you do not need the products that I have to do this layout. You could use stamps, you could use wood grains, you could use what we have right now, those like the basket weave or woven textures paper. Anything that's kind of tone on tone and it's kind of monochromatic, but there's a lot of layers, so that quiets things down a bit, that if there's not a whole lot of colors happening. Which now I feel like I'm contradicting myself because I said I was bringing in those diagonal stripe frames for a little pop of something, but it was just to draw your eye somewhere because I was finding it was getting a little bit boring. Now, these rub-ons had a bunch of like half or worn away looking pieces of maps, suitcases, and compasses, things like that. So I wanted to use those. So this is the stage where I'm kind of tucking them up underneath and checking how they look and then rubbing them in on spots. And so I'm going to cut a bunch of this out because I got my head in the way a lot. So I'll just give you a quick view of how I do it and then I'll do the rest off camera. Well, I'm going to bring you in for a close-up, or bring the paper in for a close-up here. I'm sorry about the shadows on here. I was at the retreat when I made this one, so it is definitely not the normal lighting from my craft room. I will take still shots, though, and I will link my social medias down below so that you can find them. It's Paper Therapy with Amy, and it's on both Instagram and Facebook. Thanks again for watching, and I'll catch you all next time here on YouTube. Bye!